What's going on, guys? Robby Blanchard here. In today's video, I'm going to show you a special guest of mine who's going to teach you how to make money just by talking about your favorite brands. So let's get into it right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? Robby here. Hope you're doing fantastic and having an awesome day wherever you are in the world. And right now, I'm here in Costa Rica for the ClickBank Platinum event. And there's so many amazing people here that have awesome online businesses. And a lot of people are just crushing it. That's why they're here at the ClickBank Platinum event. And one of those people is my good friend here, Chris. So I actually ran into Chris at the beginning of the event just a couple days ago. We got to talking about stuff, and he was telling me about a couple things he has going on that is absolutely mind-blowing. It's helping a lot of people finally have success online. Ordinary people and total beginners, honestly, they're having success. And so I thought it'd be super cool to bring Chris on to do a video interview with me. I know he loves being in front of the camera.
Love it.
Loves it. And so I thought we'd do one just to kind of show you guys what's possible with what Chris has been up to. So Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Super nervous to be on camera, but I'm here.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, that's good. I mean, it's good to get out of your comfort zone, and because I think what you have going on is going to help a lot of people be successful, right? So the fact that you're on here is cool. So yeah, so we were talking about some stuff, and obviously I love affiliate marketing. That's kind of my claim to fame here, and but I know that you have something that's kind of like that, but it's like completely different than anything else I personally have seen or heard. And so you want to kind of start out with a little bit of what you got going on?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy we bumped into each other for as long as we've known each other, and we kind of just crossed paths.
Yeah.
But so for those of you who don't know much about me, I've actually been doing this kind of stuff. It's called being a brand ambassador, and I've been doing it for 23 years. I got my start back in 1999, and I actually got started on ClickBank and kind of discovered products and brands on ClickBank that I really liked. But then I kind of expanded beyond ClickBank and started doing some kind of unorthodox type stuff that is not technically marketing that marketers talk about, and started getting into brands outside of ClickBank, like brands that people kind of know, like, and trust, that's household names, and learned how to become brand ambassadors for these brands without working with them directly and without having to really not be on social media, worrying about how many followers you have or being on camera. So you can be a brand ambassador for brands without even owning the product if you don't want. So it's just kind of a interesting little kind of spin on essentially affiliate marketing, but just a way that no one else is really doing it. And I've always kind of laid low and stayed under the radar. And then Robby and I started talking, and he was asking about kind of what I'm up to, and I was telling him what I'm up to, and he's like, oh my God, we need to talk about this. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's amazing. So when you're saying a brand ambassador, like, what does that actually mean? Like, it's because I think brands are such an important thing. I shared this story a little while ago, but when I was getting ready for Costa Rica, I was buying a bunch of sunscreen because, I mean, obviously look at me, right? And so there's like 50 different brands out there, but why did I choose this one brand? And the reason why was because people were telling me about this brand, and they're like, this is the best one to buy, so I bought it. So you're telling me with a brand ambassador, what does that actually mean? Do you get basically paid to recommend brands, or how's that work?
Yeah, so best way to kind of summarize it is that, so my wife loves Lululemon, and she got an email actually 2 weeks ago, and this is funny because I've been doing this stuff for more than 2 decades. And she got an email and she said, Chris, you gotta see this. I said, what is it? She's like, look, like Lululemon is saying that I can get paid to talk about Lululemon as an ambassador. Like, have you ever seen anything like this before? I'm like, I've been doing this kind of stuff for like the last, more than half my life. Like, I can't believe you didn't know that's what it was. And she's like, well, I signed up, and like they just gave me a link, and then I'm talking about on social, on Facebook. I'm just telling my friends like what my favorite leggings are, and then I'm getting paid to talk about Lululemon. And I was like, welcome to my world. Like, that's being a brand ambassador. And you can do this with really any brand that you want. Like any brand that you really love, you essentially, in a nutshell, you can go to their site and see if they have any type of referral program. In our world, like in the ClickBank world, most people think of like talking about other brands and products as like being an affiliate. But the thing is most brands out there, they don't call their programs, referral programs, affiliate programs. They call them all kinds of things: referral programs, affiliate programs, ambassador programs, tell a friend programs. So being a brand ambassador is kind of just putting yourself on a little different level and pedestal as an affiliate, because you're really endorsing the brand and like you love it, and you just get paid to tell your friends about it. So it's a very kind of unorthodox way of talking about what you naturally enjoy.
Yeah, that's really cool. And so I guess like when I think about being a brand ambassador or recommending product, a couple, I'm sure people that are watching are going to have a couple things. One of the things would be like Do they have to be in front of a camera, or do they have to actually be in front of video to recommend and actually be successful with something like this?
No, because if you did, then I would not be a brand ambassador, because I do not like being on camera, being on video or anything. So there's a lot of ways you can go about doing it. As a brand ambassador, the most common ways that people make money as a brand ambassador is if you kind of find what you enjoy doing. So if you do, like my wife doesn't want to be on camera either, but she enjoys just being able to like send messages to her friends on Facebook, like in Messenger, and just drop links like, check out these new leggings, like I just tried them on, they fit, they're amazing, they make my butt look good, and you should check them out. And then a couple people buy them, she makes money. That's a very casual way of doing it. If you want to do the camera thing, you could be on TikTok and do all that kind of stuff. If you want to be on Instagram, you can do that. Me personally, I don't like doing any of that, so I'm a big fan of I actually go kind of an old school route where I didn't plan on kind of sharing this right now, but I'll share it anyway, because most people, they can't wrap their mind around that this actually works, but it does. And it's really building like a product review type blog where you're like reviewing products and brands that you naturally love. So imagine like writing an article that just says like, hey, here's like my top 5, I don't know, like I love gaming. So let's say a gaming monitor, like, hey, here's my top 5 gaming monitor picks, like just my personal opinions for a gaming monitor. And then you write an article in a way where it's actually picked up by Google naturally, just through SEO and stuff. And you don't have to understand what any of that kind of stuff is because of just the way that I've been doing things. I have a unique system, again, an unorthodox way of doing it. And now with 2022, there's like artificial intelligence software and stuff that pretty much does everything for you. So you really just pick the brands that you want to get paid to talk about, and you have software that pretty much just writes everything for you. So that's personally what I like to do. My wife likes to send her friends messages on Facebook. I know some people that love to do like TikTok reels. I know some people like to go on YouTube and make videos on YouTube using like text-to-speech software, and there's a million different directions you can go. It's just whatever you feel naturally comfortable with.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so that's great. I mean, you don't have to be in front of the camera. I mean, for me, when I first started doing stuff and being in front of the camera was like terrifying, and but I wanted to be successful online. So now it's great to know that you don't have to be in front of the camera to do that. What about things like, another thing, like obviously in what I teach is a lot more about paid ads and stuff like that. With it being a brand ambassador and the way it works with the way you teach, do you have to do paid ads at all?
No, so I'm terrible at paid ads. I've tried paid ads on a bunch of occasions and never can get it to work because it just doesn't work for me. So for me, what I like to do, my personal strategy that I like to do being a brand ambassador is I use tools that, let's say if I'm going to, I don't know, I see some sunscreen over there. So let's say, and I know you love sunscreen. So let's say you want to get paid to talk about sunscreen. Well, I use a tool where I can type in just sunscreen, and it's kind of a keyword research tool. I don't know if most people know what that is or not, but it's a tool you put in sunscreen, and it'll actually tell you all the questions people are asking. Going to Google and typing in like, what is the best sunscreen for kids? What is the best sunscreen for pregnant, women, or whatever. There's all these very specific questions. I call them like buyer intent questions. People are going to Google, they're typing in the best of something for a specific solution or problem that they're having. And then when you find that, you can actually, these tools will tell you if there's a lot of search volume and a little bit of competition. And when you find those, like I call it, like if you're like mining for gold, you find these like untapped mines, and it's like, oh my God, there's like 21,000 people looking for what's the best sunscreen for infants. Yeah, I might not personally be into sunscreen for infants, but I see this huge opportunity and like no competition. I'll write a little article about the best sunscreen for infants. I'll do some Googling myself to figure out what is the best sunscreen for infants. And then I'll put my own article together of just my own spin on it. And then when people click to go buy any of the sunscreen, then I get paid. There's a lot of different ways you can get paid. You can get paid directly through the companies. You could go through Amazon and get paid directly from Amazon if they just buy on Amazon, and that's a whole nother cool little trick. But yeah, that's my strategy. Because I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to have to buy a product and do like selfies with a product. I just want to find out what are people searching for online, where there's a lot of people searching, but there's not a lot of people talking about the solution, and then I write a little article about solution. Now I don't even write the articles, I just have AI write the articles for me, and that's kind of what got us here together, because when I was telling you this kind of stuff, you were just like, that's crazy.
That's awesome. So cool.
So yeah, I don't do anything with paid ads.
That's amazing. And so I guess the other question I want to ask you too is, and by the way guys, we're going to be doing a live workshop, and Chris will actually go deep dive into this. Like, we're talking hours and hours of awesome content. So if you want to check that out, there'll be a link in the description. You can check that out for sure, or there'll be somewhere on this page you can check it out. But the other thing I was going to say too is like, can someone actually make a full-time living doing this?
Yeah, that's what's crazy. So for doing this as long as I have, I've had it anywhere from like family members and friends that I just kind of guide and help along the way, and some of them have made, you know, a part-time. It really depends on how much time you want to put into it, because that's always a question, like how much money can you make with this? How fast can you make?
Yeah.
How fast can you make this kind of money? That's always a tricky question. It really comes down to like how much time do you want to put into it. So just to give you an idea, like my personal students, because I have kind of coached people on the side on this.
Sure.
The student I've had that has like made the least amount of income was a couple $100s a week, and she posts like about 3 articles a week. And
wow.
in terms of just her favorite, it's actually in the pet industry, dog training toys specifically. So she's very niche, and that's kind of my student that just kind of makes a little side income. But then there's also students that just make unbelievable amounts of income, and you're talking like multi-7 figures a year.
Wow.
Because they really embrace this idea, and they build these just massive mammoth product review sites where they're reviewing like every product you can imagine under every category, because they've used this AI in a way to where they know it's a numbers game. Like the more articles that you publish using a specific approach, you know, the more I always like to talk in metaphors. So imagine if you're like fishing and you're going to go out on out in the ocean, go fishing. If you drop 1 line in the water, you have a chance of catching 1 fish. But if you have like 100 lines in the water, you have a chance to catch 100 fish. If you have, you know, thousands of, well, that's what my approach to this is. The more articles you have out there, you know, that's more lines in the water. And then when you do catch a fish, since you're not spending money on paid ads or anything, you just leave that line in the water, because organically, Google's going to see your articles is exactly what people want, and they're just going to keep catching fish off of that article. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's sorry, back to your question, like how much should it depends. How many lines in the water do you want to have? But it's a lot of fun. I recommend for people just getting started, just put a couple lines in the water, like put a couple articles together, put them out there. Don't spend money on ads. Just see what happens by using AI and then working to, you know, what Google wants, and then see what happens. You'll get addicted to it, and you're going to want to put as many lines in the water as you can.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's really cool too, because you know, even a couple of $100 a week, I mean, that's great. I mean, that's not something to be upset about at all. And if you can get to the point where you can even do, you know, 6 figures or even 7 figures, hey, that's even better too. So the sky's the limit, basically, right? So awesome, Chris. So yeah, so I want to also invite everybody too. I know we had just kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, but we're going to be doing like a free kind of workshop summit together where, you know, obviously, you know, Chris, you gave a lot of information already. I almost stopped you on some of the things you said, but this is good because, you know, Chris is an over-deliver. He just always delivers massive value. So guys, if you love this video, you're going to love the actual workshop itself, because, you know, Chris is going to go deep dive into stuff. And so we're going to hold a workshop together because I think it'd be really cool for you know, my followers and everyone around me to understand like what Chris has got going on. I think it'd be really complimentary and beneficial. So like, Chris, any like a couple little highlights of what they'll learn on the actual workshop when they register?
Yeah, the biggest thing on the workshop, I've kind of like exposed some of the secrets already, just because I get excited about it.
Yeah, this is great.
It's hard to hold back like what I want to share.
Yeah.
And I'm just like a giver, and I've done a couple workshops like this before, and when I do workshops like this, the way it's going to work is that we'll kind of start off, and I'll tell you a little bit about my background and like the fact that I've been doing this for 23 years. I'll kind of give you a little backstory so you know what you're going to learn is something that I didn't just discover last month. Like this has been more than half of my life, and so we'll start off with a little bit of my background so you understand how important this is, and all the tests I'll show you all the stuff I screwed up on and what not to do. And then we'll get into, I'll actually show you how I go about finding the types of products to talk about and the brands to talk about, how to structure these articles, what type of software I use to write the articles for you. I'll show you everything on the workshop. And then towards the end of the workshop, what I'm known for is that I don't like to be on someone else's workshop and they show me a cool strategy and I got some questions and I submit my question in the questions box and they're like, okay, let's answer some questions. But then I'm like asking a million questions. They don't answer any of my questions. So what I do is I actually answer every person's question until all questions are answered. So my workshops have averaged anywhere from the shortest workshop has been about 3 hours. My longest workshop was past 6 hours.
Wow.
Because it just depends on how many questions people have. So if you're watching this right now, and if you're kind of interested in this, you just kind of want to learn about, you know, just a cool little strategy that has been working for a very long time and it's working better this year than ever, just show up on the workshop. we can get to know each other, ask questions in the chat. I'll personally talk to you like through the chat, and I won't turn on your camera or anything, but I'll be like, I'll call out your name, be like, hey, Dave's question is blah, blah, blah. So you know I'm actually answering your question.
Yeah.
So just set some time aside if you want to show up to this workshop, because it'll be I don't even look at these as like workshops or summits.
Sure.
I call them parties.
Yep.
And I like to have fun, and that's the whole plan, the whole idea with all this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so guys, all you have to do to register for this workshop, or as Chris calls them, party, just go ahead and go to the link in the description box below, or if this video is on a page, it's gonna be down below this video as well. So make sure you guys register for it, and it's gonna be an absolutely live workshop. You know, sometimes when you go to a workshop, they're like, yeah, it's live, and it's really not, but it's actually gonna be live.
I'll be there.
And Chris is gonna be there. So make sure you show up and attend it, and I really highly recommend it, because even if you're looking to make a couple extra $100 a week, right? This is something that's gonna be well worth the time spent with Chris and everything he goes over. And like, you know, he's like literally the #1 guy in the world when it comes to this, being a brand ambassador. So this is something that's really important. It's really cool too, because, you know, I think like the brand ambassador is now, the average person can do it, the beginner can do it, whereas before it was a little bit harder to do. And now Chris's system is unbelievable. He's gonna share all about it on the actual workshop. So yeah, so any last words, Chris, before we wrap it up?
Just come to the party. It'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Cool. Awesome. Well, Chris, I appreciate you doing this. I was really excited to do this video for everybody here. So make sure, guys, if you haven't yet, go ahead and go to the link, register for the upcoming workshop, and we'll see you there. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed what Chris had to share. And guys, if you're really serious about wanting to make a couple $100 a week extra, a couple $1,000s or more, then I really highly suggest you go and register for Chris's workshop by going to the description box below, clicking the link and registering for it on the next page. Also, guys, do 3 things for me right now. Give me a thumbs up, show me you love the content. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments below. And finally, hit the subscribe button, because every single week we pump out new content on here to help you have more success online. So that's it for me. That's it for Chris. I'll talk to you soon.